Good morning, children. How are you all? I hope you all are doing well. So again, we are going to discuss second chapter from physics, that is force and laws of motion. Already we have completed up to Newton's first law. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the Newton's second law. So before going to learn about the Newton's second law, you should know one topic, that is momentum. Have you ever heard this word before? No. So what is momentum? Generally, today first we will discuss. So here I am considering two balls. One is cricket ball and another one is tennis ball. Okay. So I have thrown both the balls with same speed, or of course velocity, same velocity. Okay. With same speed I have thrown. Then tell me, which ball requires more force to make it stop? Of course, cricket ball requires more force for stopping it, isn't it or not? Means why? Because it's having it, when we'll compare both the balls now, cricket ball will have more mass, isn't it or not? So the object which will have more mass, automatically it requires more force to make it stop. Isn't it or not? If any object is moving which is having more mass, it requires more force to stop. So nothing but mass is directly proportional to force or not? Yes, if any object is having more force, that object requires, more mass, that object requires more force to stop it. Isn't it or not? So this topic is clear, isn't it? So next one, I am taking both are cricket balls. Okay, both are cricket balls I am taking of same mass. Okay, then I have thrown these balls with different velocities. With different velocities. Then tell me, which ball requires more force to stop it? Huh? Which ball requires more force to stop it? Of course, the force is required to stop that ball which is having higher velocity. For example, this is moving with high velocity. This one I have thrown with low velocity. Okay, so which ball requires more force to make it stop? The ball which is moving with higher velocity, that ball requires more force to make it stop. Isn't it or not? So here force is of course directly proportional to velocity or not? Yes, force is directly proportional to the velocity. So here we can tell that the quantity of motion in a body depends on the mass and velocity of the body. So if any object is in motion, okay, how can we measure that quantity? The quantity of motion always depends upon the mass of the body and with how much speed the object is moving. Okay, so the quantity of a body always, the quantity of motion of a body is always depends upon the how much mass the object will be having and how much velocity the object is moving. Clear, children? So here what finally we will give definition for momentum is momentum of a body is defined. Momentum of a body is defined as product of its mass and velocity. Product of mass and its velocity. So here nothing but when any object is moving, actually the motion will be actually depends upon the mass and velocity. So simply momentum, what we generally define that momentum of a body is always, it is a product of mass and velocity. Clear? So generally this momentum is represented with the small letter p and product of mass already we know, it's already denoted with small letter m, and with velocity with v. Okay, so nothing but p here, p is equal to m into v. Then what will be the SI unit of momentum? What is the SI unit of mass? Kg. And what is the SI unit of velocity? Meter per second. So what is the SI unit of momentum? Kg meter per second, or also you can write it as kg meter second inverse. Clear, children? So this is about the momentum. Momentum is generally, it is a product of mass and velocity of that body gives us the momentum of that object. And its SI unit is kg into meter per second, or meter S inverse. Clear, children? So every body means every moving body will have momentum. Every moving body only will have momentum. If any body is at rest, okay, for example, if one body is at rest, rest means velocity will be 0 or not. So m into v means nothing but here v is 0. So it will be, momentum will be 0 or not? Yes. If any body is moving, that body only will have the momentum. If any body is at rest, that body's momentum will be 0. Clear? So here we will see some example. Means some everyday situations we will see where we will momentum will be involved. If you will see karate players, okay, they will keep some piles of what is that, tiles or slab of ice, like the slab of ice used to keep, maybe you have seen somewhere, isn't it? They will keep one slab of ice cube, isn't it or not? With a single blow they will break that one. How it will happens, you know? Means when they'll move their hand. Okay, when they are moving their hand, if you observe very fastly, they will bring the hand here, isn't it or not? So when the velocity will be more, okay, here velocity will be very more. So within a short time, the large momentum of the hand, okay, the large momentum means this hand is in movement. Movement means nothing but this one is having momentum or not. So the large momentum of this fast moving hand suddenly reduced to 0. Suddenly reduced to 0 in very, very short time. So when the momentum, large momentum is bringing to 0 in a short time, what happens? Really that hand exerts a very large force on this ice cube. Understand? Here when the hand we are moving, the hand will have velocity. Within a short time, the velocity means with very fastly he will bring to rest, isn't it? Within one shot he will bring the fast moving hand to this iron cube, isn't it? So here what happens? Within a short time, the large amount of momentum, means whatever momentum he is applying there, the momentum will come to 0 within a short time. So when the large momentum is coming to 0 in a short time, really this hand will exert a lot of pressure on this, lot of force on this ice cube. Finally this one will break into 2 pieces. Okay, see, generally the momentum will be high in 3 cases. Momentum will be high in 3 cases. In 3 cases. What are those 3 cases? First one, if mass of an object is high. If mass of an object is more. For example, see, if mass of the object is more, the momentum will be high or not? Yes. Second one, if velocity of an object is more. If an velocity of an object is more. For example, velocity is more. Then also mass into velocity becomes, again momentum will become more or not? Yes. In third case, if mass and velocity both are more, if mass and velocity high, then that object will have very, very, very high momentum. If only mass is more high, of course momentum will be high. If only velocity is high, of course momentum will be high. In some cases what happens, mass also will be high and velocity also will be high, means that object will have more momentum. For example, see, very a truck, like lorry or something heavy truck, if you are observing, okay, if it is moving now, if we, for example, if it is moving very fastly, okay, very fastly with high speed, that this object is moving. If you will compare this mass of lorries or trucks, very high or not? Yes, mass is more. And of course, if it is moving with very high speed, in that case velocity also will be more or not? If for example this one will go and collide with any other object, tell me, the whatever accident will happen, it will be a serious one or not? Yes, means there will be a lot of damage in these cases. Why? Because here mass is also high and velocity is also high. Automatically the momentum will be very high. Whatever momentum is having this object, it will come to zero, isn't it or not, in a short time? So what happens, whatever momentum is there with this object, that momentum will be very, very high. Okay, for example, one scooter is there, okay, or one bicycle is there, okay, one cycle is there and its mass is less or not, but it's moving with very high speed. Cycle, that person is riding very speedily. So you if he met with an accident or something, can you tell me this both cases will be same? No. Why? Because here mass is less or not? So little bit compared to this condition, momentum will be somewhat less or not? So in this case, momentum will be high, of course, but it will be less compared to this condition. Here both are very high, whereas here only the velocity is high and whereas mass is less. So like this, the objects which are having mass and velocity high, okay, that in that cases the momentum also will be high. So this is about the momentum. So now we will learn about the Newton's second law. Momentum clear na children? So now we will learn about Newton's second law of motion. Okay, so what is second law of motion? The second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the applied force and taken place in the direction in which the force acts. So here what is our Newton's second law? The rate of change of momentum of a body means the change in momentum of a body is directly proportional to the applied force, means whatever force we are applying, it is directly affects the change in the momentum of a body. So force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum, means here force is directly proportional, rate of change of momentum is nothing but change of momentum. Rate is nothing but we are writing time downside. Okay, we are dividing with time. So force is directly proportional to change of momentum by time. The rate of change of momentum is nothing but, see, the rate of change of momentum is change of momentum by time. Okay, so the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the applied force, means how much force we are applying on that object. The nothing but that force is directly proportional. The change happened in the momentum of a body, and that takes place in the direction in which the force acts. Okay, for means here you see force is directly force is I am writing F, and change of momentum. For example, first the change in velocity means we know na, V minus U means the final velocity if we are considering V and initial velocity U, V minus U. Then what is momentum generally? Tell me. Momentum is, now only we have discussed mv. Okay, for example, let it be p1 means final velocity if we are considering v, then the momentum of that object will be mv or not. If you are considering initial velocity u, then the momentum will be mu or not. Clear or not? It means nothing but momentum is product of mass into velocity. If you are considering final one, final momentum is mv or not. Initial momentum is nothing but mu or not. Mass into velocity. So it's final velocity. So m into v. It is initial velocity. So that's why mu. Momentum is equal. So now I am writing change of momentum is final minus initial. Isn't it or not? Final minus initial. So mv minus mu. mv minus mu. And time we know time is always t. Okay, clear up to here? So I am taking m is common here. Okay, so I have taken m common here, so v minus u by t. So f is directly proportional to m. V minus u, already we know what is v minus u by t. See here, v minus u by t, you know a is equal to v minus u by t, isn't it or not? So this completely, can I write it as a or not? Yes, f is directly proportional to m into a. So if we want to remove this proportionality, we have to keep some constant there. What constant I'll keep there? F is equals to f is equals to k into m into a. K into m into a. Of course, this is capital F. K into m into a. If I am considering the value of constant k in SI units is always 1. 1 into m into a, how much? F is equal to m into a. Clear children? F is equals to m into a. If I am writing this one as a is equals to, can I write f? A is here. If m will go here, means f by m or not? Yes. Means always remember, from this what we can consider means acceleration and mass are indirectly proportional. Acceleration and mass are indirectly proportional. For example, the mass of an object is very high. The acceleration will be less. For example, one 80 kg person is there and one 30 kg person is there. If I'll conduct one running competition, who will win? Can you tell me? This person only will win or not? Why? Because mass is less or not? Means he is little bit thinner one, isn't it? So he can run very fastly compared to this person, isn't it? So he will win. Means if any object will have less mass, there will be more, means speed will be there. When the speed will be there nicely, means nothing but there will be more acceleration. If any object is having less mass, there will be more acceleration. So this is the relation between acceleration and mass. That is, mass is more means acceleration will be less. Mass is less means acceleration will be more. Clear children? So here the SI unit, next one is SI unit of force. SI unit of force is, of course, you can write it as mass. Actually mass one is F is equal to, mass one is kg. Acceleration is meter per second square. You can write SI unit of force is kg meter per second square. Okay, but simply this one you can write it as Newton. What you can write it as? Newton. So F is equal to, simply means the SI unit of force is, simply you can write it as Newton, or in case if you forget that one, even this one also correct. Kg meter per second square is also correct for force. Okay, SI unit. So this is about the Newton's second law. In next class we will learn about its applications and also we'll see some of the problems. So up to here children, learn it. Make the notes, read the textbook thoroughly. Okay, don't waste your time. Thank you.